Grateful to have Myles Kennedy and Wolfgang Van Halen here with me today, hanging out. Again, they are on tour together for a couple more shows. So if you're in Reno, or where is the California show to be exact, just so we can... Yamava?
That's the casino name.
Casino.
It's in Highland.
And when is that, Saturday?
Saturday.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so two more. Reno...
Right on the outskirts of San Bernardino.
All right, and by San Bernardino. So you get a chance to go see... And go, my gosh, if you're in that area of the country... see these two extraordinary bands. They're just killer and, you know, truly live, real bands. No bullshit, no nothing going on. Everyone's singing, playing. What a friggin' concept. God, don't get. I'm not going to start. Anyway,
I won't.
No, you can start all you want. People are sick of hearing me talk about it, but I won't stop. When I saw you in Jersey, there was a third band too, right?
Yeah,
it's called Red.
Red.
Yeah, are they still on too?
No.
We've got Pistols at Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay, don't know them, but I heard great things about Red, but I didn't see them. I got there too late. But
great.
All right, cool. So go, and then again, Wolf's album. We'll do more when the record's closer. Of course, August 4th is the release date, and for Myles, just keep chugging with Alter Bridge. See what happens with Slash when he ever gets over this fling with this other band. That keeps adding the Normodomes of the world. And maybe another solo record?
We'll see. Yeah.
He's being cagey. I think he's got it done.
No,
it's his back pocket.
You're talking to a guy who shelved an entire record. So a lot of it depends on whether, I'm funny that way.
Has to do with that traffic in your head, right?
Exactly.
I got you. All right, let's get some calls for the guys right now. Here's Joey in New York. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, everyone. Hey, guys. My question's for Wolfie. First of all, congratulations on the new record you got out. I love the song.
Thank you.
And I'm a drummer. The love a drummer has for the drums is like you can't parallel it. So I wanted to know who are your inspirations as a drummer, and if you had any great story to share about you and one of my favorite drummers in the world, your Uncle Alex.
I think always, it's funny, I never really mention when it comes to my inspirations, Dad or Al, because I think it's just so inherent, like they're already there, that I don't even need to mention it. But when it comes to drummers, a big drummer for me is Danny Carey.
From Tool.
Yeah, like learning how to play Tool stuff is what really upped my game.
Literally a big drummer. He's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a very tall man. But also, I think another big drummer that really helped me early on was Travis Barker. I was really big into Blink-182 growing up, and learning how to play Anima of the State front and back when I first started learning how to play was a big help.
When you were touring in Van Halen, what was that like, locking in with your uncle and working through all those songs?
Oh, so fun. Just being able to lock with Al and not have to worry about singing lead now, which is a thing that I have to worry all the time about now in Mammoth. But you'd be surprised at how much Al and I would save Dad, and he would have no idea.
How so?
Dad could not count. He would always end on like a 3 or a 5. And there were so many times where he would mess up, and Al and I would just go right in, and Dad would turn around and be like, yeah, we're doing pretty good. And he'd have no idea that we just totally saved him.
How is your Uncle Al doing?
He's doing really good.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. Every time we got a big show or something's going on, he always texts me good luck. And so, yeah.
I had Michael Anthony on this show last week, and he said he's been talking to Al a little bit, and they've been talking. Yeah,
we talk every now and then too. I love Mike.
Yeah, so Mike seems to be doing well, and he's kind of looking at doing something because Sammy's 75, and although he's not retiring, he's kind of like feeling like he's going to wind down a little bit. Which for him, he's like us. I think he's got to go.
Yeah.
I think he says one thing, but.
He's got a very young spirit. I don't see him slowing down.
Yeah, and Michael was talking about, and I know, Wolf, you mentioned this in interviews too, that finally that the Sammy period of the catalog is getting addressed as far as some reissues and stuff.
About time.
Yeah, so have you been involved in that at all?
I've been in the, how do I say this? Yeah, because obviously, when it comes to all end all be all Van Halen decision making, that's Al. But I'm right there in the wings, filling Dad's position in terms of looking over stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely there.
And somebody told me that A Different Kind of Truth was not on streaming for a long time, but
really?
is now.
Okay.
has come back. Do you know anything about like the
have no idea.
ownership of that record? And it's the one record you're on, obviously.
Yeah. You know what? I'll have to check with all the business peeps.
Somebody
about
said
that.
it was gone for a while, but apparently it like moved to a different label group or something, and
Yeah, maybe the
might
contract is
come
up.
back or
'Cause
something.
it's been like 10 years.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a... Yeah, you know what? I'll check with Alan.
I've
on
said
that.
before, I think that's a very, very, in some ways, if there is such a thing as an overlooked, underrated Van Halen record, I really feel it is.
It was fun. I'm proud of what I did on that.
Great songs on there, man. It's
Yeah.
really it's really a fun record. I listen to it all the time. Okay, let's go to Benjamin, who's in Los Angeles. Hey, Ben.
Hi. I just wanted to say hi to y'all. I appreciate what you do. Myles, the other night in Anaheim, the show stopped. You stopped the show. Was there something wrong with somebody in the audience? Did they get hurt or something?
Yeah, somebody in the front row, I think he might have passed out, and so we just wanted to stop while they, helped him out. And he's all right. Yeah, he got up and everything was good.
Yeah, I just really loved the show. I saw that. I saw the look on your face, and I was getting concerned, and I think my wife's asking what's going on, and I said, I'm going to ask him.
Well, yeah. Sometimes things like that happen, and you're in the middle of a song, and you always want to err on being cautious. If somebody goes down, people need to, if they need to communicate and need to try and talk to the person, they don't have to fight over 120 decibels of volume. So yeah, but I think everything was all right. So appreciate your concern there.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that. You guys are professional, and I just love you guys. Great. You're one of my guitar heroes. And of course, your buddy Mark there, too.
Wow, thank you.
And,
I really appreciate it.
And Wolfgang, loving what you're doing, man. Loving it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Eddie, and thank you for everything you do in rock, brother.
All right, thank you, Benjamin. Appreciate that. Myles, have you seen a lot of that in all your years of touring? Have you had instances where you've had to stop the show?
Yeah.
You've seen something go on?
Yeah, once in a while. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's something that. It's not a regular thing, but when it happens, you have to be, you have to be aware of it. It's always it's interesting because you're always kind of surveying what's going on.
That's the thing for me. I sing with my eyes closed a lot of the times.
Right,
so
right.
I have my Uncle Pat here to go. Like, if anything is happening, you run out and you grab me and you're like, we gotta stop. There's something going on. Because I get. It's funny when I start to people watch and I say like, oh wow, they're singing, and then by the time I have a thought, I'm not singing, so I need to, or I mess it up. So it's important to.
Do you ever? It happened to me last night where someone's singing along, and then I forget what the next lyric.
Oh yeah,
is.
it's so weird because it's like the lyrics are muscle memory ingrained.
Right.
But like I'll be singing the verse and going to the pre-chorus. I'm like, what's the pre-chorus? What's the pre-chorus?
Yeah.
What's the pre-chorus? Oh, I'm in the pre-chorus. And I just completely, it's gone.
So you've looked at the people singing in the audience, your own lyrics?
Yeah, but
tips?
sometimes it'll be one of two things. They'll be kind of off, or I'm so blown away that they know the lyrics, and then I start thinking, wow, that's so cool. Oh, what's the next lyric?
Exactly.
And so it's always this. For me, the problems are the second verse, the first line of the second verse, and pre-choruses. What is it about those two?
Yeah.
Those are the problem spots.
But even for you, this is first of all, Wolf. You always have your eyes closed when you're singing.
Not always, but I don't. It helps me put me in a place where
Yeah?
I can get it done. Because sometimes I just my brain just goes way hyperactive. Usually by the end of a tour, I can look around, but also I feel uncomfortable because it's like everybody's looking at me, and I'll lock eyes with a couple people, and it's like, look at everybody. Look, there's 5 guys up here. Look at them.
What about shades? Do you wear shades when you sing?
Nah, that would be weird.
That's interesting.
But
almost like wearing shades indoors at 1:00, right, Myles?
But it is. Yeah, exactly.
He's wearing shades now. That's why I just said that.
But it happened last night. Sometimes if the lights are too bright, I start.
Oh yeah, the lights are sometimes they're super fucking bright. So it's just like I'm just gonna close my eyes.
And you feel but you feel self conscious, like why were people looking at me?
Yeah,
do I have a zit? What's wrong? Did I zip up my pants? I mean, what's so?
You don't acknowledge that they're looking at you because you're Myles Kennedy, the lead singer of Alter
I mean,
Bridge.
honestly, I'll be totally honest with you. I love playing music. I'm a little weird with when you realize people are engaging and looking at you. I get kind of strange.
Yeah, I kind of don't trust anyone who enjoys that.
Right. I know.
Who gets up on stage and goes like, oh yeah, look at
Yes.
Like you got to be an
Exactly.
asshole to be that guy.
Look at me.
I don't want to say anything, Wolf, but your dad used to have a singer that loved doing that. Let's be honest.
Hey, me too.
He made his whole career doing that.
Yeah, it's a funny.
I'm going to be honest. This is just me talking as a fan. Before you were born, I used to go see Van Halen all the time. And I used to lose my mind because there were moments, and I'm sure you've seen it on video, where Dave would come out to the end of the stage and extend his arms and literally let the crowd applaud for like 8 minutes to 9 minutes without doing anything. Just standing there like, soak me in, right?
Right.
And I used to, as a fan, as a kid, go crazy because I'm thinking to myself, Van Halen songs on average are about 3 minutes long. I could be hearing 3 more fucking songs by this guy standing there. Whether he's swinging a sword around or in a cape or whatever he's doing, I was like, I could be hearing Light Up the Sky. I could be hearing DOA. Like, what's going on here? But that was the Dave thing at the time. But it's interesting because both of you guys, this just hit me as frontmen, which you are in your respective bands, are not prototypical frontmen at all. I mean, you both are not seeking that attention, which is not what comes with that territory normally.
I'm
right?
alarmingly casual on stage. I just kind of talk to the crowd like they're my buddies. I've learned that I don't really need to put on this face or shtick. I'm just like unabashedly being myself when I talk to the audience, and it's fun. I think people have actually been appreciating it. So it's
Well, it's because you're being authentic, and it is really great to see. I made the mistake early on. I feel like I really struggled initially when I started playing with Slash because I was trying to be more of a quote unquote front man, and I'll never forget it as long as we played a gig at the Gorge, opening for Aerosmith, and I was doing some of the kind of cliches, and I remember my mom and dad after the show, they were like, it wasn't like that was wonderful, that was great. They just said, remember who you are, and I was like, whoa. And that changed everything for me. I was from that point on, I've just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. Yeah. And if you like it, great. If not, that's okay too. I just want my mom to like me.
As long as mom says you're good,
Exactly.
you're good.
Exactly.
But Myles, a lot of that for you, because we've talked about this in the past, what people don't realize about you is that your big passion is playing guitar.
Yeah.
And it comes from the fact that you, especially with Slash, initially, I'm sure you felt almost naked out there without a guitar, right?
Yeah. If you want to see something really funny, watch the first Alter Bridge video. Watch Open Your Eyes. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's hilarious.
Or you're not playing guitar in the video?
No, I didn't even have a microphone. It's just me on the top of a mountain, and it's just like really, it's hard to watch. It's brutal.
Let me ask you this then real quick. So I touched on this earlier, as many people know, and I know it's a surreal thing for you to talk about, but as we know, you were one of the guys in there working with Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones and Jason Bonham on a potential, maybe if it wouldn't have been called Zeppelin, but something at that time coming off that O2 show. If that would have happened and you would have landed that gig, you would have been looked at as the guy who had to be the new golden god.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have panned out. I don't know how that would.
he's already a golden god.
I don't know about that. But yeah, that would have been because that would have been interesting.
You would just be saying "mama" a lot more when you're riffing.
Baby, let the juice go down.
Well,
my
I mean,
leg.
because he was arguably. I mean, that's the guy,
Right.
Like, you can't.
You're not going to go out there and try to be Robert Plant. Have you ever seen Jason Bonham's band, the Led Zeppelin?
Only like YouTube and some really. I'm really blown away with that.
So that singer is amazing.
Amazing.
But he does, and to his credit, he doesn't try at all. He has a shaved head, comes out in a button-down shirt, and just sings the shit out of the songs.
Just cool.
Awesome.
Which I think is so cool, because if Jason would have gotten a guy with like blonde hair and the dove on his arm and all that,
Dove on his arm.
well, you know that classic picture where the picture I'm talking about with Robert Plant, but
Dove on his arm.
pigeon landing on him or whatever. I don't know.
That would be dangerous for that bird's eardrum.
It sure would.
But Wolf, he talks about seeking his mom's approval You know, a lot of people talk about your dad and his approval and influence on you, but your mom, she's got to be super proud of what's gone on with you.
Oh yeah,
huh?
I don't need to seek her approval. She is very happy and proud of everything I do.
Has she come to many shows?
She comes to all of them. She's very excited. She's
awesome.
My mom she's a very proud mother.
As she should be. Is she in the wings jumping around and
Yeah, yes.
knows all the words?
My uncle will tell you.
Pat, she's you got to keep an eye on her. Pat's saying yes.
Good job.
Oh gosh, too funny. Let's go to Les, who's in Nashville, joining us. Or I'm sorry, it's Lee. Lee in Nashville. Go ahead, Lee.
Yes, sir. I'm geeking out right now because these two of my biggest heroes right now. I went and saw Wolfgang in Louisville with Diamond Dave on their last tour. And then when Mammoth came out, we went to go see him in Nashville, and they got COVID, so we had to drive all the way to Chattanooga to see him, which was awesome. And then Alter Bridge was coming with him in Nashville, and to be honest, I had never heard of Alter Bridge, so we got Pawns and Kings, and then the set list, and the show at the Ryman was truly the best rock concert I've ever seen, and I'm 54. It was just amazing. And so now we're going to see Alter Bridge in Chattanooga at the same venue that we saw Mammoth, and then we've got tickets to see Mammoth opening for Metallica in Texas. I guess it's in October, maybe August. I don't know. But so excited. But two quick questions are, what was it like to play at the Ryman? And Myles, for a new guy just found Alter Bridge, which rock and roll is not dead. You guys are insane. What's my next go-to album now that I've got the set list and I've played Pawns and Kings till I can't play it anymore?
I know what Eddie's going to say.
I'm
going to answer it for Eddie.
But first of all, you give your on it. You know what I'm going to say.
Actually, I think we're going to answer the same.
Are you? Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, I think
okay.
we'll answer. But I, Wolfgang and I both appreciate.
Yeah, thank you so much,
really,
man.
That was
That's
really
super kind.
of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
And playing the Ryman is just mind blowing.
You guys did that on this
I think
tour?
that's the show that really stuck out from the last leg.
Yeah.
Was like, wow, that was a really special gig.
I've never been there.
It's outstanding.
You know, it's funny. We had watched Walk the Line a couple days before. And I was like, oh shit, that's where Johnny
Right.
Cash broke the shit out of those lights on that stage. It was like, wow. And then we played it. It was amazing.
So the album I would suggest, Fortress.
There you go.
Yeah.
Miles and I are in agreement on that, Lee. That album is top to. Again, I got to be careful when I say this, because when people think I feel like it's so head and shoulders above everybody, all the other records. But I do love all the other records. I really do. But there's something
Blackbird's really special
about Fortress. I know a lot of people go Blackbird, but I think maybe I think the reason why I don't go Blackbird is because
You like Fortress more.
no, well, that's true. Good point. Well,
Very logical.
smart guy. Well,
Yeah. very smart.
but no, because I got into Alter Bridge on AB3, so I got into
Another
Alter
great
Bridge after Blackbird and then went back.
Got it.
On there, I think I told you this story, but I knew you, through Slash and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never forget there was a Slash show, House of Blues, when it was there in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the dressing room, and Lemmy was there. I'll never forget. Lemmy was in the dressing room, had a girl on each arm, and he yelled at me because I went to the drink refrigerator and didn't get alcohol. I'll never forget. I came back, and he goes, I go back to continue talking to him, and it was like 2 a.m. I just wanted to have a water. Because I was like, what's the point of drinking at this
Right.
late? I'm just going to go to bed, right? And he looks at me, just give me the stink eye. He goes, what are you doing with that? I go, just getting a water. And he goes, come back and talk to me when you have a proper drink. So I had to go back to the refrigerator and get a beer and
That's
come back
funny.
to keep talking to him. But I remember you were like rustling your stuff in the corner of the room, and you're walking out, and you said, hey, it's my other band, a new record we got coming out from them. Check it out. And you gave me a CD of AB3. And I listened. So that was my gateway.
Right.
And then, Fortress and everything, I'm a super fan now. But that's probably why I go Fortress over Blackbird, just because that was the
Yeah, Blackbird was my first album. So
Blackbird was your first
Alter Bridge album.
right. But when we talked about earlier about songs you have to have in there, Blackbird is one
Oh,
of those
yeah,
songs.
without
I mean,
a doubt.
that's
Yeah.
showstopper right
Yeah,
there.
that's her.
I'm
for
stoked
sure.
that you guys have been playing Come to Life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
that's
that
I'm glad we're playing that again too. It's a fun riff.
I think from Fortress you're only doing Achilles, right?
Achilles and Addicted to Pain.
Oh, Addicted to Pain,
Yeah.
right. Okay, cool. All right, let's say hi to Jeff, who's in Palm Springs, joining us right now. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's up? Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so I just want to say this is really awesome to be able to talk to both Wolfgang and Myles, because seriously, you guys give me hope for the future of real rock and roll, because you guys are truly live and what you do is amazing. Thanks to Classic Rock Magazine for turning me on to Alter Bridge and Eddie Trunk, of the combination of those two, and also Slash's band. I'm going to be there on Saturday to see you guys at the casino in San Bernardino that I can't even pronounce the name of, but I'm super excited.
Nobody can.
Hell yeah.
Don't say you don't want to say as frontmen. You guys don't want to say from the crowd. Hey, welcome to Yamashama, everybody. Just be like San Bernardino.
All I know is that I live in Palm Springs, so it's an hour drive, and that's what GPS is for. It's all good. But
Right.
So what can I say? My favorite song from the new Alter Bridge record is the Fable of the Silent Sun. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
That's killer.
God,
too.
that's a great song.
Thank
That's such a great record. And the new Mammoth WVH song, that is just ripping. It's just so good. I can't wait to hear it live. And Wolfgang, you've got more talent in your little finger than most people have in their whole bodies, and you need to give yourself more credit as a lead singer, because your voice is great. It suits that
Thank you
music
so
so
much.
well. Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
you haven't seen
I
us
can't
live
wait
yet.
to see that.
Are you doing the new song live? Have you put it in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's in already?
I wanted to play it earlier, but Kevin over here was like, no, you can't do that.
Publicists
Yeah, and I'm
always
super
putting the
excited to be-
kibosh on good stuff.
Sorry, I'll get to my question really fast. But
Go
I'm
ahead,
super
Jeff, real
excited
quick.
to see- I'm super excited to see Alter Bridge for the first time. I've seen it with Slash, and that's going to be great. My question is, if you guys had to pick one album, like what is your all-time favorite, greatest rock record ever made? If you're on the desert island. Thank you, guys.
Oh man, a rock record. Great.
That's such a I hate
So
questions like these.
so do
I'm like,
I get 'em too.
I'm gonna sneak a little iPod that has all of them on the
Yeah, you can't pick one record. That's impossible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a tough. One.
That's impossible. I mean, I would have trouble coming up with 5.
Yeah.
Is there a record you guys go to like when you just, it's like a comfort food for you, like the record you always go to when you need that? What is it, Myles?
Well, for comfort food,
Yeah.
Steely Dan Asia.
Oh, okay.
It just makes me feel good. Makes me feel so good.
Sonically, crazy sounding.
it's just so good. But the songs are great. And
Yeah,
Steely
yeah.
Dan.
Highway to Hell
Yeah.
That's a good one.
or Power Rich. I can't choose.
Didn't you say, last time you were on with me, you said you and your dad had a record that you always...
Power Rich.
It was Power Rich.
That and Peter Gabriel's So. Those two albums.
Yeah.
Very special albums.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. Good question there. I want to go back to one other thing that came up earlier, though. When you guys were talking about remembering lyrics and forgetting lyrics on stage, this is something that that fans can't understand. And there are fans that get really irritated if they see a musician using a teleprompter. I don't. I get irritated if it's fake and they're lip syncing, it's tracks, it's a laptop. I don't give a shit if they're looking at a prompter. It doesn't bother me, but some fans do. But no, you guys write your lyrics, obviously. Nobody can figure out how it's possible if you've written lyrics and songs you've done 20, 30 times. Like Rob Halford got a lot of blowback a few years ago because he had a teleprompter for breaking the law or something. He's like,
No, that's dumb. I think you should be having a teleprompter there is not a big deal.
It's not a big deal to me either. But the idea, Wolf, is like fans can't understand. How can you not remember
think
songs
about-
you've done a million times?
We were just talking about you got a lot of traffic going up there, any given day, and it's like, what if something's going on? You never know. For me, it's like the lyrics are so ingrained, but the second you start thinking about it is when they disappear. And so I'd love to have a little teleprompter there at some point when we can afford it for the that'd be really cool.
You can have your mom work it. She's there all the time anyway. Give her a job.
No, I think that's
Pat's shaking his head.
I think that's a cool thing. It's one thing. Yeah, I think that goes back to the whole tracks argument. I think it's not like having tracks. It's one thing to have. It's one thing to say, you you can't afford a symphony, so you got violins and stuff pumping through, which is like, okay, whatever.
Right, one
but-
song or whatever. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But
too.
when you've got like main guitar tracks and drums and main
Bass.
vocals going through, that's when like, how can you like, where's your integrity, man?
with you 100%, man. But did you ever use a prompter?
Oh yeah,
Do you use one now?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what happens after you've made as many records,
Think about all the songs they have, all the 8-minute songs they have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
8-minute epics, but also between all of the just all of the bands and all of them. I don't know how many.
Miles starts singing the Slash song.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, it's happened. But it's interesting because I very rarely actually utilize it.
But the comfort is that
the
it's there.
comfort. And when you get to that second verse, and you're like, "What's the first word?" I
That's-
just look down, like, "Okay, it's the."
Usually, if you can if you can see that first word, that's initially when I'm singing, and I'm like, "What's the next thing?" If I can think of the first word, it's there.
Yeah.
So it's like, just have that cue.
Now let me just pick up real quick on something I just picked up on. So Wolf is saying he would love to have a prompter when he can afford one. You have one. You can't share your prompter with Wolf.
what's that about, man?
I was
What's
just
that about?
Jesus.
Well, I thought that since he's a genius, I was like. In fact, I always kind of joke him after a show. I want to give.
I only play one on stage. Miles.
I always want to hug him right when he gets done because he's kind of sweating. Because I want some of that genius juice on the body.
You can have my juice anytime you want, Miles.
And there's the headline.
Clickbait. Wolfgang offers Miles his juice. Blabbermouth, get on it.
Had to happen at some point.
Oh God. Thankfully we're done in 10 minutes. Don't worry, guys. I saw Wolf check his watch. Here's Pete. I don't know where's Nova Scotia. Pete, are you Nova Scotia?
That is correct. And how am I going to follow that? Juice.
You got some juice for us, Pete?
I certainly do. You know what? I love you. You guys are so inspiring. I just love both you guys so much. You're going to have to get the directions to Nova Scotia from my man Miles there, because he and Slash put on one hell of a show here. And Wolf, we would love to have the benefit of your brilliance anytime. I got to say,
and his juice.
I have a son, and I've named him Sammy after Sammy Hagar. He's an absolute monster on guitar. He's been playing for 8 months. I've been playing for 40 years. Did the bar band thing. I'm just a dad. But aside from making sure that the guitars are in tune, and he's got lots of fresh EVH strings and all that good stuff, is there anything I can do for my son other than stay out of the way, answer the questions when put? What would you guys say it would be the best thing a loving dad can do? Because I love my boy, but he's really gifted.
It sounds like you're already doing it. You're supporting him. You're staying out of the way. You're helping him when he needs it. Sounds like you're doing a kick-ass job already, man.
Jeez.
Definitely.
Well, I don't know, Miles. What do you got?
You know what? I think Wolfgang just hit it right on the head. I mean, I think that it's the idea of that's that love factor and that support factor, and that's something that I had tons of from my folks. Even when they kind of question, I'll never forget when I sat down with them. I started on the trumpet thanks to my mother. She kind of insisted I play an instrument initially. I just wanted to play soccer at the time, and then fast forward a few years later. Interestingly enough, I hear a certain Van Halen 1 record, and I am like, oh, what is that? I want to do that. So I remember asking my parents if I could play guitar, and they were cool initially when it was acoustic, but when the idea of bringing an electric came into the equation, that was when they thought, where's this going? But I think they did some soul searching. They realized that they were going to be supportive, and if it made me happy, and it all worked out. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Nothing you can do better as a father than to unconditionally love and support your child.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. Couple more quick ones, then we'll wrap up. Here's Brian in Texas joining us right now. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Eddie. Good to talk to you. I got a question for Miles. Miles, I've been hitting Eddie up for a while now about the album Fortress, because to me, start to finish, it's an absolute masterpiece. But to me, I think it's sending a message about, like, perhaps it's a concept album, because there's destruction of the earth, destruction of relationships, how we abuse the earth. So I was wondering if you can tell me, is Fortress a concept album?
I do think there were some themes that ran throughout. I don't think that one was a concept record. I think that, but it's interesting as a writer, and Wolfgang, you probably noticed this as well, where you're in a space, right?
Certainly.
And you keep drawing from that same spot, so that it will run congruent throughout the album. But it's not that wasn't intentional. It wasn't an intentional effort to, when we sit down like, okay, we're going to write a record.
But it's definitely a snapshot of your thought process and where your brain is at that time.
Well, it's definitely a masterpiece, that's for sure.
Thank you very
Eddie,
much.
I want to apologize. I didn't get to see you at your show in McKinney, but couldn't make it happen. But hopefully next time when you're in town, I'll get to see you.
Yeah, man, I try to do that about once a year. It's a great crowd, but come out next time, Brian. Thank you. Take care, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Water is Rising, you've done live still, too.
Oh, yeah. We do
That's
that
another
too.
one that shows up every once in a while, right?
I love the bridge in that song.
Yeah, it's killer. Let's say hi to Rick, who's in North Carolina. Hey, Rick, you're on Trunk Nation. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Eddie, as always, thanks for what you do for rock and roll.
Thank you, man.
Miles, I think I saw y'all on Alta Bridge maybe 13 years ago in Bossier City, Louisiana, and what I remember, a lot of pyro kept us warm. Wolfgang.
You guys had a lot of pyro in Alter Bridge?
Maybe.
You sure? I never saw you have pyro. You sure you went at a Rammstein show?
You know what? It could be that was when we just throw M80s out.
Nice and safe.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wolfgang, never got to see your dad live. Almost did in about 90, 91. I hate I never did, but surely all of us miss him. But what I want to ask you was, one thing I've learned about, or I've heard about you, you said it earlier, don't take yourself seriously. Can you explain the album artwork for your first album?
Yeah, it's an amazing piece called Fatigue 2 by an artist named John Rossio. Neither of the Mammoth album covers were commissioned. They were pieces already that I resonated with greatly. And I think with that first album, I think it represented the core of what Mammoth was. I think it was important to that when it comes to the word mammoth, it's describing something big, something huge, and not making you think of a hairy elephant. But yeah, I was really taken aback by his whole. He has a whole series of little things being big, just kind of fucking shit up, and I thought that crab was really badass.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't educated on the art side of it, but I guess I was thinking kind of opposite what it was. It was just kind of so different. I really couldn't put my finger on it, but just wanted to pick your brain on it and let you explain it. I do appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Rick. Maybe time for one or two more quick ones. Here's Mike in Calgary, Canada. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you? Hey, just a couple things here. Wolfie, I think you're just absolutely wonderful, brother. I love your stuff. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just
Thank
be
you so much, man.
And it's great.
Thank you.
You betcha. And Miles, I've been waiting for this for the last, almost 20 years. You are probably one of my biggest inspirations. Why? Because I lost my dad back in 2005, and you guys were just coming out with the Still Remains album that came out, and that really got me through that. And my mom just passed away 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years this Easter. And you just, you just really got me through all of this. And I can't thank you enough, Miles, and the guys and the rest of Alter Bridge and Mark and everybody. And hopefully I can thank you in person. And the next thing I just want to say is, when are you guys going to do a run in Canada? Like, you guys have a lot of fans here, like Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Vancouver. You guys need to come, because we love you.
Mike, they were just telling me. They were just telling me before how much they fucking hate Canada.
No, that's not true. That is not true. Jeez.
The bands pick where they play, and they discriminate against certain countries and areas. I hear from these bands all the time. I'm joking. I'm making that up because so many. That fans think that sometimes when you don't go to a certain city. Like, you must not like my city.
I've made that joke plenty of times. So I was like, "Hey, why didn't you come to my place?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's because I don't like you. I know that you're there." No, but
sorry, Mike. I just want. It was so heartfelt what you said. I just wanted to break the you know,
okay.
but condolences to you, Mike, and
thank you,
man.
really thank you for sharing that. You have no idea what that means. And I will say, you know, we did do Toronto recently, which was the crowd was outstanding. It was amazing.
It was the first show to sell out too.
Yeah,
That was
it was
And I missed that.
yeah, it was,
And I
it was
missed that
wonderful.
show, Miles. And I missed that show, Miles, because I bought the meet and greet, and I did buy tickets, and I missed it because I was stuck because I was driving. So, and then I just missed you guys in Spokane. It just seems like I just been missing it.
they're avoiding you, Mike. I told you, I got to run, Mike.
Always
it's a
one step
conspiracy.
ahead.
They're like, we got to stay away from Mike in Calgary, no matter what we do. We got to stay away.
I love Canada, man.
I do too.
I'm a big hockey fan, so anytime I can be over in Canada, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we're on in U.S. and Canada. I get a ton of calls from Canada, and as I was telling you, Fitz and Kern's come, and I do shows dedicated to just Canadian rock. We sit in here and do this.
So much good Canadian rock.
It's
Every
fun.
Canadian I know is just like the best person.
Yeah, they're all nice people.
Yeah.
They're not dicks like we are in the U.S.
We're the worst.
I got 2 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to end my show. I can't thank you enough for coming here and on a day off and hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. And again, we'll recap on Mammoth 2. It's still WVH, right?
Yeah.
Because I looked on the artwork for the cover. It says Mammoth.
Yeah, the album is called Mammoth 2.
Mammoth 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's August 4th. Pat's birthday.
Yeah, huh?
And by design, dedicated to him. It's a big picture of you on the back of the jacket, I know.
Well, he's the skeleton.
Oh, there you go. Another celebration at the end of the world. If you've not seen the video, get online, get on the website or YouTube or whatever, and go watch the video. It's phenomenal. Again, we talk so much about the video. The song is killer, but the video just takes it over the top. It's awesome. And
while you're there, you can subscribe to the Mammoth WVH YouTube channel too.
There you go. And you can see Wolf and Mammoth WVH, a phenomenal band live, playing everywhere, and dates with Metallica all over the world, everything coming up, which is awesome. And then more Alter Bridge stuff. Pretty much that's pretty much the year for you, right? Is Alter Bridge?
Yeah,
that's
Alter
good.
Bridge all the time.
Good. And maybe a record that he made that we don't know about.
We'll see.
Maybe he's going to knock a record out in his room tonight, and on the bus or whatever. Anything else, Miles, you want to mention?
No, that's all good, man. Thanks for having us. This has been a lot of fun.
Always a good time.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys coming by. I really do. And safe travels out there the rest of the way. And we'll be looking forward to this new record, second record from Mammoth. And then everybody check out Pawns and Kings from Alter Bridge, which is out there right now. And if you slept on the last Slash album 4, there's a very short window that Slash had to promote it. There's some great songs on that record, so definitely go check that out as well. Miles got 2 solo records out. Go check those out if you didn't get those last time around. There's just too much great rock goodness between the two of you guys here. And thank you for keeping it real, too, both of you guys. Awesome.